Hi, again, this is Brian in the Small Engine video series. We're going to spend a little time and talk about electrons. And again, one of the things that used to crack me up is you talk about electrons and how they move and that kind of thing. Well, you don't make electrons. What really this is about is understanding how and why they move. The electrons are there. Why do they move? What causes them to move? And one of the things that's really important to understand is notice the electrons are negatively charged. Protons are positively charged. So the electrons are attracted to the protons. They're attracted to positive. Okay? Again, like in the battery, you have a positive terminal, a negative terminal. So the electrons flow out the negative terminal and they want to get back to the positive. Again, if the battery's dead, if the chemistry in the battery is used up, if it's gone all the way this way, the voltage is zero, so the electrons don't move. There's no push for them. Okay? So again, about the electron, what's going on here in electron theory is some things are really good conductors. Copper, silver, gold are really good conductors. Again, you don't see highline wires made out of gold just because it's so rare and so expensive. Also with silver, silver is quite a bit more expensive. Copper is used a lot. Aluminum is also used quite a bit because it's a good conductor and it's light. Okay? So what's going on here is in the atom of these three, there are electrons around the nucleus. Again, the nucleus has protons and neutrons in it. And on the outside of that, in the different orbitals, the different energy states, are the electrons. Depending on how many electrons there are in the outermost orbital, that determines how easily they will move from atom to atom. Kind of cool, isn't it? In other words, the electrons, if they're pushed, if there's voltage, they'll move. Okay. Some things, doesn't seem to matter how much you try and push them, that they don't move. Thankfully, we have these. In other words, where we can use rubber and silicone and plastics and all in these different components to stop the flow of electrons. So again, what the system on the engine is doing is you have this big flywheel. We'll see this more later. There's this big flywheel that's got magnet or magnets. It's also can be called a rotor. So when the magnet turns in what's called a stator, when the magnetic field, this just so fascinates me, how electricity, flow of electrons and magnetism are connected, is when the magnet of the rotor, when it turns and goes past these conductors that are on the stator, when the magnetic field changes and it collapses, that is what's pushing the electrons. And on the stator, it's actually like you can think of as pushing and pulling, because a stator is producing AC current, which is called alternating current, which means the electrons are actually moving back and forth in the wire, jumping back and forth in the opposite direction from atom to atom. All right, talked a little bit about electron theory. Again, this is about atoms and the electrons that are around the nucleus and how easily they move from atom to atom. Okay? Well, that then will lead to Ohm's law, and also what does it have to do with a small engine? In other words, how are the electrons, the movement of the electrons in the conductors used to make an engine start, why the lights work. So we're gonna talk more about, test some things about why or how this is used to make these function.